right, Jim, the beauty of this Mets team is that it's somebody different every single night. What does that say about the roster that David Stearns has put together?
I mean, I think he's done a tremendous job. First off, they had a core here that was, already here. So that helped a lot, right? But when you look at all of the guys that he's brought in, and almost every one of them hits, that is hard to do as a general manager. You're usually going to have some guys that don't contribute, even over this latest stretch, whether it was Bader one night and he had been struggling. Tyrone Taylor's done a great job contributing. Iglesias has been incredible. If you go through the starting pitching, a number of them are new. Bullpen, they revamped the entire bullpen. Like, it's been one thing after another. And I think the thing I appreciate the most is he showed a sense of urgency where maybe that wasn't the case in prior regimes. Like, when something wasn't working, okay, he got rid of one of the relievers. He brought in some new faces.
Narvaez, Wendell, see ya.
Right. Torrens, I mean, all of that.
Yeah,
so I think he's done that from that side of it, too. That urgency, to me, has been a big difference.
Andy, what has Mendoza done here during this Mets hot streak?
Well, it's interesting. First of all, he's involved in roster moves and trade deadline stuff, and anything that a front office person, or just about anything a front office person would be involved in. The Mets, I guess I would credit Stearns maybe above almost anything else would be his inclusiveness. Yeah. And he's not trying to control the manager, but he's trying to elevate him into being a part of this mix. But the stuff that you just talked about, Jim, I put a lot of that. This isn't to take anything away from David Stearns, but I think people go shorthand on, David Stearns this, that, just like with the Yankees, Cashman this, Cashman that. And these things are obviously, as you well know, more than I do firsthand, these are group efforts. And Mendoza is the one to me whose personality really shines through on the urgency, on the quick roster moves. For example, Jorge Lopez behaves inappropriately. He's DFA'd after the game. Relievers in and out. Obviously, those are ultimately on the GM or the president of baseball. But I see, being around that team, the manager really having his thumb on the scale to a lot of this urgency and change of tone and change of culture with the team. And again, like, Stearns does not want him to be some puppet. He wants him to be a guy who's in the room, who has a voice, and that's how it's played out.
You see with playoff teams, guys stepping up, coming out of nowhere, contributing. I think about Sean Chacon and Aaron Small for the Yankees in 2005. The Mets in 2016, it was Seth Lugo and Robert Gazelman when the Mets had a whole lot of starting pitching injuries. And this Met team kind of has some similarities to, the 2005 Yankees and the 2016 Mets, where they have been left for dead on a variety of different occasions, and they have filled gaps. I think David Stearns has done a really good job of that. You look at the way they've kind of revamped their bullpen over the course of the year. You look at the way certain guys have stepped in, like Iglesias or Jesse Winker, that have really given them a spark. And to your point, Andy, with Mendoza, they faced adversity. They were 0-5 to start the year. They were double-digit games under 500. They had that West Coast trip where you're like, how did they recover from San Diego? How did they recover from Arizona? And they keep getting off the mat. That, to me, is the manager. It is a culture. And when you have all these guys stepping up, Sal, it makes you really, as a fan, start to believe they got something going on here, and I don't know how you can ignore it. Since June, the Mets are as good as anybody in the sport.
I love the accountability that the organization has had here. If it's Tonkin, whoever it may be, a reliever's underperforming, out, see you later. Lugo, no nonsense, out, see you, Lopez, excuse me, Lopez. Out, see you later, even though he could probably help them in the bullpen, his arm. Narvaez, doesn't matter the contract, out, see you later. But I think the most important thing, Andy, is what you touched on, because we do appreciate Stearns for what he's done, and obviously Mendoza. But the fact that Stearns, unlike his predecessors or many people in baseball, allows his manager to have significant input and doesn't want to control him, to have him be a data applicator. Take his input, as he should, because Mendoza's a baseball lifer. That has been a huge difference in this organization. So it's a credit to both Mendy and for Stearns for allowing that to happen.